Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy, Blaze McCoy, here with another WrestleSense podcast live here on the WrestleSense YouTube page and the Hardcore Sports Network YouTube channel as well. Good to see everybody. Hope everyone's doing good today. We got Wally in the building. There he is. Atticus Black is here. Kelly is here. John Malakute in the building. Andy Price. What is happening? Good to see everybody. Not tons of news, but tons of news, I guess. You got a lot to talk about here, in the ring, out of the ring, etc., etc. Daniel Barry's in the building. As always, keep hitting the thumbs up. It's the best way to support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Keep it coming. We got 4 up on the board. Let's see if we can keep those thumbs coming all through the show. And I appreciate all the involvement from everybody. And let's bring on the boys and start talking about some wrestling. CJ and Doc in the house. What's
going on?
I got a thumb for your asshole.
Ooh. And now it's a party.
All right, so before we get into the Six Senses and the news, I have a specific thing I want to share with everybody here. Has something to do with one of our lovely gentlemen here.
Oh, fuck.
On the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you, Doc.
Yeah, I figured.
So, tell me about this. Let's hear it first and see what happened.
It means this interview is over, and you're lucky that I don't pile drive you.
Oh my God!
It means this interview is over.
Oh, we're gonna watch it again. Okay.
No, what? So what is that, Doc? What happened here?
I was doing an interview. He was avoiding the question. He said the interview's over. I just said, hey, if you just, and I wanted to, actually just apologize because I got sent to the ring by, the powers to be, and he clotheslined the shit out of me.
Yeah, and Doc gave it up one time.
Yeah, I gave it up one time.
I mean, yeah, I have to say, man, it's not a wasn't a little pleasant thing at all. But my
No.
question is, why did you like provoke him? Seemed like you provoked him on the way he
Yeah,
turned
that's
around.
what I'm thinking.
Like, let
What
him
again?
go.
Like I really I was trying to tell him it's not my job. It's not my fault. It's just this is what they're making me do, and he didn't let me get that out. Instead, he clotheslined the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was my only question. I'm like, of course, you've talked about and we've seen this guy do crazy shit before, but I mean, he looked like he was walking away, but then you took the bad one.
God!
Yes, knocked me the fuck out.
And Bodie's reaction of
All
all
I'm
people.
saying is workers are gonna work.
Yeah. Is what it is, man. I mean, it hurt, for a few days. I was real sore, and we'll just see what happens. I don't
But of all
know. I
people
think
to
my
take a-
interviewing days are done. I think I
To
want
take
to
a
just sit behind
clothesline
a
from
table
anybody.
from now on. We Jason from that wrestling podcast is now a part of the RWA staff. He could get in the ring and interview since he wants to laugh about it. He could go ahead and do interviews in the ring.
See
I think
how it
I'm
feels,
done for a
man.
while.
Love it.
We'll see what
Love
happens.
it.
Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
thanks.
If
Yeah.
I could pick one person out of the locker room to take a clothesline from, he'd probably want to be the last ones.
He was definitely one of the last ones. He's one of the last people on earth you want to piss off. But unfortunately, when you get a note that says, Doc, impromptu interview, go.
Oh, geez.
That's what happens. The note come up over the shoulder. You can even hear me on commentary. You go, great, I got to interview J-Rock. And you could just hear it in my voice that I don't want to interview this man after, two members, one Johnny Patch getting his head shaved by Gory, losing that match.
That was pretty crazy, too.
And then, of course, Preston Everest losing by disqualification to the legendary HL Supreme. And it's just simple fact is, he was already heated that night. And then he defeated the poster boy, Jason Hendricks, in pretty much impressive fashion as a veteran against a rookie would. And unfortunately, I had to interview him. So it's what it is. I got clotheslined. It's part of the job. It's happened to all of us.
I was going to say,
interview.
you've done this for a long time. So is this one of the worst reactions you've had from a wrestler inside of a ring, or have you taken a worse? Something worse
I
than
actually had I had my neck actually almost broken by a man by the name of Menfo Mofo. He wanted to get at Chris Taylor. He tied me up. Actually tied me up in the corner. Alexa, her name was holding my hands and tying me up. And he put a chair. He used it to try to snap my neck, and they had to take me out on a stretcher and everything. It sucked. Other than that, that's mostly the most violent things that have ever happened to me in a ring. However, yeah, the chair hurt like shit. I didn't, I didn't go to sleep after that one. That one put me to sleep for a good, I'd say 25 seconds. I was out. Like I woke up and there was lights, and I heard the ref going, "You okay? You okay?" And
what part of the show was that in? Beginning of the show, middle of the show, towards the end?
Oh, it was almost right before the main event. Believe it or not, like I said, and it sucked because I really wanted to call Ron Hunt and Patrick Hayes' match, and then but hey, Jason Marshuka was there, so Jason and Tony went ahead and did commentary for that one, which I thought was really well done. So.
Sweet. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, as I said before. And
No,
we had to talk about it. When I saw that video, I was like, I have to get some.
I kind of figured you would show it or something, or have some kind of fucking stupid surprise.
You guys
That's
probably fucking got this lined up like 2
Well,
weeks ago.
At least
Yeah,
you didn't
right.
get kicked in the dick or punched in the balls or nothing, I guess. Right? I mean, you can look at it the bright side somehow.
Wally, I'm fine. Thanks
And
for
you're
asking.
still here, thank goodness.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate the kind words. There you go.
Yeah,
Stay out of the ring.
Jason didn't let anybody down. He did. He did really well. He came right in. He wanted to do commentary, but didn't want to do it like that. We were kind of hoping Tony would get kind of beat up, and we would just do it. It is what it is. Tony's been beat up enough. He's been wearing a neck brace now for I don't know how many months. So
yeah, seems like it's like a year or so since he's.
he got hurt. What can I say?
We're due for a visit from him. Actually, he's here right now.
I knew you were going to do that.
No,
Are you done?
I won't do that. Let's get to the Sixth Senses and what happened this week in rap.
Yeah.
Lot of love in the room today. A lot of love. Let's get to some of the news. I'm going to cover some of the news here, and then we're going to talk about all the releases at once here. So news started to break early yesterday, today, whatever. Monstars in the house. Azrael's here. Good to see you guys. Fuji got released today. Yep.
Fuck Fuji.
There you go.
So we got word about SmackDown going to USA. We also got word that Elimination Chamber is going to be in Australia, which really sucks for one of the releases, as you'll see here in a minute. But now all the news got overtook by these releases. Emma, a dream of hers to fight in her home country of Australia, released. Never mind, I got released.
I know that sucks that she found out right when, they announced that. Then they said, "Hey, by the way, you're not going to be going. You're released."
Mustafa Ali asked for his release before. He's finally gone. There's a long line here. Aaliyah has been released. Let's just let it roll. Shelton Benjamin, after a long history of being there, is gone. Riddick Moss, the boyfriend of Emma, they were doing that little thing for a little while. That didn't work out. Elias, I'm sure we'll definitely mention and talk about his release. Rick Boogs, the man who was working along Elias for a while, was also released today. The biggest name definitely is former world champion Dolph Ziggler. There's been rumors from his brother already over in AEW. Was like last week. He posted this a couple days ago. I'm sorry, teasing it. So I don't know if he knew it was not in the works or whatever. But this is very interesting. Like Cena gave props. 1,554 matches that Dolph Ziggler had. That's incredible. I think Kane's the only one that's had more. Then they said NXT cuts probably around 5 p.m. Sure enough, a mix in both. Mason Mansoor are gone. They didn't really use that much. Yeah. Shanky is no more dancing. Dabba-Kato, Commander Aziz is gone. Yulissa Leon is gone. So then there was more names from Daniel MacArthur, who we've probably never seen. He's a NCAA All-American track athlete from North Carolina, probably in the NIL program. He got released. Let's see. This is probably, we do our Matt Cardona check-in every week. This is probably one of the best tweets today. Just giving, it's not the end of your career. It can be the end of your career or it can be the beginning. Look yourself in the mirror and decide. I promise you the work and the money is out there. It's not easy. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's frustrating, but also it can be incredibly rewarding in more ways than one if you work your fucking ass off. Hope to see a lot of you down the road. So that was really good to at least see Cardona come out and speak some positive noise. There was a lot of junk for people going out there, throwing names that weren't out there to get released. But we'll start with Doc. The news of the SmackDown move as well as the release is all piling up today. What was your thoughts as you saw these names start coming across the board?
You don't want to see anybody lose their job.
Right.
Bottom line is, it's a sad day. It always is when there's a bunch of releases, man. You feel for these people, you know what I mean? It's a dream come true for anybody that's in like the independent scene. Everybody wants to make that big game, wants to be in one of those wants to be in the big leagues, and then these people got to experience it. Yes, they are there's going to be people jumping at the bit, Impact, possibly All Elite Wrestling, which I don't know how with that inflated roster, but the simple fact is there are going to be indies out there that want a big name, and now they, these guys have an opportunity to do that. And Matt Cardona said it right. Go out, bust your ass, and make that money. I know for a fact, the Pittsburgh scene is going to welcome Elias back with open arms if he's willing to. Hell, who knows how many people Tony Khan has actually called today? How many people Scott D'Amore has called today? How many people Al Snow from OVW?
Yeah. I would hope that no one has been called today. It's too fresh, and they all have 90-day no competes.
I was just going to say that lands December 20th, and it's a Wednesday when they're all available to go to a different company. So we could see that December 20th if Tony Khan decides to reach out. CJ, is there anybody in this list?
There's 3 names on this list that are pretty shocking to me, and it's Shelton Benjamin, Elias, and Ziggler. And maybe Mustafa Ali is like an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But
I was like, why not Ziggler for like a scout or helping NXT or something? I don't know. That's
if what I'm listening to on the way home was correct, that he's wanted to leave for some time and wanted to leave a few years ago, and they convinced him to stay. So, kudos to him for collecting all those paychecks and not having to do much. But he's probably one of the all-time top talents, in my opinion. in the entire world of wrestling, he's going to be just fine. And I promise you, because of my personal connection with him and some of his family, Elias is going to be more than fine.
Yeah.
Well, Ziggler also does stand-up comedy too, and he's been doing that, so he has something to lean back on a little bit. He got 3 months. I mean, and he's kind of funny. I've seen some of his stand-up. He's good.
I promise you, that's great that he has something to lean back on, which it's going to be wrestling.
Do you think he wants to fight with his brother, CJ? You think he wants to go over there and tag with his brother a few times, maybe?
I don't see why not. I mean, I think everyone, Dolph is 43. So fucking
that age doesn't matter
that doesn't
in wrestling.
Mean dick.
I've talked about this. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember Nick Bockwinkel fighting till he was 50s and such. You know, there was these wrestlers that were going to wrestle until they can't, regardless.
I mean, and I don't want to see anybody lose their job. Trust me when I tell you that. But I would much rather see some of these guys and girls go out and do exactly what Cardona said. Because, I mean, I don't care money or not, WWE. Like, if I'm not being used, I don't want to just collect a paycheck, especially for, like, guys probably like Elias, Shelton, Ziggler. I'm sure they're more than financially stable and probably don't need to work another day again for the rest of their life. But they're performers. They're competitors. They're athletes. So,
I mean, I can see Tennille Dashwood, Emma, and maybe Dana going to Impact. Tennille was over there before.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Impact lands someone like Shelton or Ali, those are big names to bring into the Impact or NWA.
I think Dana Brooke would be fucking phenomenal for Impact.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I always liked her. I always did. Call me what you want to, but I think she's very talented.
And like you both guys said, we don't want anybody to lose their jobs. It sucks. And we do hope they latch on somewhere or find something. Or if they're financially secure as they are, maybe some of them don't want to wrestle anymore. Who knows? I mean, it's to be determined at this point.
I just feel that, you know, there could be some dream matches, even if none of these guys really get signed to like a long-term contract. Like bring Ziggler in to take on like someone like I'd love to see him and Kenny Omega go.
Yeah,
I would love to see, because Ziggler is so good at just making his opponent look good. Like,
I'd like to see him and Will Ospreay.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that one too.
There's that one.
Ziggler's,
there's a lot of people out there.
Seller?
I'm still talking, but fuck it. Hey, go ahead. It's okay. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad on that.
It was your time to talk. I'm just throwing in ideas.
I know.
Keep going.
I'm just saying. You have so many different. When it comes to the women, though, like I don't know about Dana. I think Dana Brooke has a good opportunity, but she should go somewhere like OVW. I feel like somewhere they could.
OVW is trash.
I don't know, man. I was really impressed with what I saw on that show on Netflix. I was very impressed. It was a very good.
I haven't watched it yet, Doc. What about that show is good that people were talking? A lot of people are.
It just hits you, especially when you see everything that some of these guys go through and stuff like that. It's just, you know, plus I love Al Snow. So I'm a huge Al Snow fan, always have been. So just to see where he's at now and what he's doing and to see him get back in that ring one last time, it was pretty cool to see him and one of the Basham brothers, you know, they're out there training. And I always thought the Basham brothers were very, underrated. All right, I'm done.
Agree. Well, before we move on to the next topic, and we'll start with Doc again. What do you think about the SmackDown moving to USA and now the rumors that NXT and Raw might move to somewhere else?
I would like to see USA keep both Raw and SmackDown, and I'd like to see them keep all three. And the reason I say this is the simple fact is if you watch when The Rock returned to SmackDown with McAfee and that, they edited out half the promo because of the whole asshole thing.
Yeah,
USA would have let that fly. Fox, however, not so much. I feel like USA, they'll have more freedom. So I say keep all three of them on USA like they did before, and just keep that your central WWE station.
Fair. CJ, do you think that this could be the end of the brand split completely?
I mean, you're not going to see all three on USA. I can promise you that. You're going to see SmackDown's USA, and you're probably going to see some sort of like streaming platform for probably both NXT and Raw, because let's be honest, SmackDown is now your A show, in my opinion.
Yeah, agree. All right, we'll move on to the second topic, and it does have something to do with SmackDown from last week. We got the return of The Rock. I loved it. I popped big time because I wasn't paying attention to a lot of social media earlier in the day because the news did break through Fightful and a couple other places that he was in the building, which I didn't want to know that. I like being surprised when he came out. And then not only did we get The Rock, but we got so many throwbacks to the past. We got, obviously a ton of social media views for his return. We got a little bit of this, which I didn't expect. It was nice to see these two square off and have a little bit of dialogue. That was kind of fun. We got to see AJ and Cena in the ring again. It was just, it was nostalgic. It was an amazing SmackDown, in my opinion. Let's bring Ray on. There's a big guy. What's happening?
What up?
Before we talk about this, since Ray is here, let's just go back and get his thoughts on the releases.
Oh, we're not going to do all that.
Thank you.
I just want to know what you think about the releases. It can take 1 minute.
Most of them I could give two shits about, to be honest. I mean, it's all people that have either been misused, mistreated, start and stop. I mean, the only three that I disagree with are Elias, who I think is extremely talented. I mean, yes, we know him personally, but he's extremely talented. And I feel like they just kind of misused him. Rick Boogs is another one I think is kind of a missed opportunity with them. He has charisma out the ass. And then, like, you could say Ali, Mansoor, Mace. I mean, they're all serviceable workers. They'll be fine on the indies. I don't get the point of getting rid of Top Dollar, even though he sucks in the ring.
He's the drizzling shits.
Well, here's the problem. I've went through this personally kind of both ways. This is an NFL lineman that lost a shit ton of weight. And when he lost the weight, he lost the strength. As a big guy, which obviously we all know I'm a big dude, you naturally get stronger. I carry 380 fucking pounds around every day. If I lose that and I don't lift weights and keep my muscle mass up and do the proper things physically, I'm naturally going to atrophy. My body's not carrying the weight around. It's not a chore to do as much stuff. He did not do that. That's why he got weak and he got shitty in the ring. If you watch his early stuff in NXT, whenever they first came in, he was really decent. I actually saw some of his stuff on the indies. He wrestled for Mike Busey's little, like, kind of side thing, and he was not bad. But when you lose the strength and you're a big guy and you're relying on that, plus his knees are shot from a 10-year NFL career, like, yeah, you're going to be fucked. And that's essentially all it was. But he did what most of these other releases didn't do, and that is incite the fucking crowd. He could garner heat. He could garner attention, which makes me look at that as a missed opportunity. And then, obviously, Dolph Ziggler, we've been saying for a fucking decade and a half that he's misused. And I honestly, he's already been on Being the Elite. His brother's in AEW. I hope he goes to AEW and at least gets somewhat of a respectful run because he is the best fucking sell in the wrestling business, in my opinion. He's charismatic. He's a great worker. He's a good promo, and he can make whoever he works with look 10 times better. So the fact that they never put him in the position to really use that, I mean, they did at times for small shots, but never to really use that the way he should have been. He would be fantastic in AEW, where they have a lot of young guys that need seasoning, need help, need to look good, and he would fit like a glove.
Pretty much the same ones that we were talking about, and the fact that he brought up these were people, no matter how good they are, they weren't being used. So none of them are really super surprises. So that's why that's a point that I forgot to bring up as well. So back on Friday, we got The Rock in a different Austin. Now this brings up talk of this year's WrestleMania main event. This is what I want to discuss. Does Rock coming back mean that now Cody has to wait another year before he finishes his story? Are we going to get Rock Roman, or are we going to get Roman Rock doing something else? CJ, what's your thought on the return of The Rock and how this affects the world?
Why does Cody have to finish the story at WrestleMania? Why does it have to be WrestleMania?
I don't think it does, but most people from their predictions are thinking it has to happen at the biggest show. I don't either. I think that's a good point.
No, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. And I mean, it's awesome that The Rock has, come back and it did the viewership and social media numbers that it did. But the thing that pisses me off is I'm sure several segments that were remaining on the show had to get cut because he went over on time. I get it. It's the fucking Rock.
Yeah.
But why can't we continue to build the future of wrestling? I mean, I love a good throwback, and it was phenomenal, but I hate taking away from the future of the business.
Doc, your thoughts?
And that's not probably going to be a popular opinion, but no, I don't give a fuck.
It's your opinion, so it matters, and it's dead on. So, Doc, your thoughts on the aftermath of the Rock's return?
Is it a return, though? They really never said if he returned or not. They just had him come in and do a special appearance. I never saw this as a return. I just saw this as a special appearance. He was in town with McAfee, and they decided to go have some fun. You know what I mean? Especially, if the Rock's going to show up on TV, hell yeah, we're going to do it. If it's there, great. I'd like to see Cody Roman too at WrestleMania. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but if The Rock is here for a little bit, thank you, actor strike.
Yeah.
Then run it back. Then let's run it. Let's run Roman versus Rock. Let's run it. And I'm looking at this picture right now. These would be phenomenal matches.
Yeah, obviously speculation.
Yeah, it's definitely speculation. So, and of course, The Rock's gonna have to get back in the ring shape, to be honest with you. So it is what it is. But until they say he is back, I just think it was a special appearance. I'm not going to hold my breath or get excited.
Ray, are we getting Roman Rock or are we getting Roman Cody?
Here's what I'd like to see personally. The nostalgia, again, I agree with everybody. The nostalgia pop was freaking awesome. When I turned on SmackDown Friday night here at work, I was not expecting to hear Pat. I mean, I kind of expected maybe Pat because I knew they were in, Colorado and he was, there and etc. I knew The Rock was on. I actually watched him on the Pat McAfee show earlier, and he brought up wrestling. He brought up, possibly working the main event of WrestleMania this past year, etc. And I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of cool if they did something, but I really wasn't expecting it to come to fruition because, again, I thought the same thing. Like, it was kind of a one-off. It didn't set anything up. It didn't forward any storyline. It was great for Austin Theory. He has the best run of working with
big names from
the top acts going right now. But I like what you guys said a little bit ago, where you said it doesn't have to be WrestleMania. I would honestly like to see Cody versus Roman if we're going to do the Rock thing. I'd like to see Cody versus Roman at Rumble. Let's find a way to get there and take the belt off of Roman prior to Mania.
Yeah, Roman Rock doesn't need the belt.
The world title does not need to be involved in the Rock Roman thing.
Correct.
If it is involved, you automatically know that the Rock's not winning because we know he's not going to stick around. As soon as this actor strike is up,
good point,
he's going to go back to making $20 million a movie.
Yeah.
But if the title's not involved, now that gives you a thing on Roman doesn't have to win. There doesn't have to be shenanigans like they could win and shake hands and pass the torch that way. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That gives you options. And then that gives you another headlining match, whether it be John Cena, as you see here. We've all been hearing that Randy's due back soon. There's a lot of history between Randy and Cody that could be some great storylines. I mean, there's a lot of options out there to give you the best WrestleMania possible. If we can get Roman and The Rock, I'm all for it. But it better not have the title involved. It better not, again, take Roman out of wrestling and doing fucking title matches for another 3 months or 4 months during the build, because we already have that now. And it's fucking infuriating that the Universal Champion, or at least the top champion on the brand, is never fucking there.
Yeah.
And we've never seen the who was traded to SmackDown thing.
Not yet.
So, as that kind of plays out and maybe people forget about it, we get a surprise that one of these weeks when Roman is there, all of a sudden you hear that there's more than one royal family. And Cody tells him that I've been the one traded to SmackDown because you and I have unfinished business. And now we're in business, and we can build to again. I would do it at the Rumble. I mean,
I wouldn't mind that. Good way to kick off the year, January.
And how it still finishes the story for Cody. It doesn't have to be WrestleMania. Cody can get a big win at WrestleMania and retain his belt. The whole thing is him winning the belt.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll see. I mean, the dream matches you see here are pretty crazy, but we'll see how it pans out. Still a long way to go. I love The Rock's return. Some people were saying it was a missed opportunity because he didn't interact with the bloodline or anything, but I'm going to wait and see, guys, so we'll see how it goes. We talked about this last week a little bit. Now it really looks like it's going to happen, so I want everyone's thoughts again. This is an old picture of Jade at the Performance Center in her last tryout, but now it looks like this is a done deal. It looks like it's going to happen. She's going to go to the Performance Center for a while. And whether or not she stays on NXT or goes right to the main roster, we'll see. Let's start with Ray on this one. Your thoughts on the Cargill, looks like the acquisition to WWE?
I said it last week. She's a WWE superstar through and through. She has everything they look for. I kind of thought they were going to toil her way into NXT. Everything I've seen and all the opinion things say that she's going right to the main roster. Mm-hmm. And if she does, I don't think her work rate is there. However, and CJ can attest to this as somebody who's worked with 20-year vets and worked with people that are, 6 months in the business. A great performer will work up to the level of who they're working as long as they're helped along. Mm-hmm. And she's a natural athlete. She's a natural athletic ability. She's come really far in her run in AEW without, in my opinion, a lot of reps. So I have a feeling putting her in there with your Asukas, your Charlottes, your Baileys, that she's going to rise to the occasion, especially if they're the ones calling the matches, they're the ones helping her along, and they're out to make her look good, that she'll be just fine. And she's a fucking star.
Yeah. Doc, your thoughts on it?
Everything Ray said.
Yeah, it's
honest. Like she has the all around. She has the all around look. Everything about her.
Damn fake fed line. Oh boy.
Well, he has a point.
I know that's Jason's spiel. I know,
but he has a point though. He has an actual point that HBK can enrich even more experience with her. She was learning from some of the best up there at AEW. She was learning from Danielson. I mean, I hate to mention his name because it's like Beetlejuice at this point, but she was learning from Punk. She was learning different things. She was absorbing, and she wasn't afraid to take criticism, and she was just willing to keep her, mind open and wanting to see what all these veterans can teach her. Now she has one of the best in the business, Shawn Michaels, teaching her. So I think it's going to be an excellent way to see what they're going to do with her. I mean, there's so many different ways they could throw her into this system, but like I said, we'll just let the creators of Endeavor, see what they're going to do with her. So,
and CJ, as you give your opinion, I want your honest take on though. Like again, we've all been green in the business.
Yeah.
But you're now at a point in your career where you're the old head. You're the veteran. You're the 25-year guy.
And,
you know what I mean?
I feel like I am full of probably unpopular opinions today, and this is probably going to be another one. And again, I don't care what people think.
Everyone has their WrestleSense.
I feel that she should not be on NXT whatsoever. I feel like she should be at that Performance Center all day, every day for the next 3 to 5 months.
There you go.
Perfecting her craft, and then send her straight to the main roster. You think people are going to forget her if they don't see her for the next 3 to 5 months? No, absolutely not.
That was my question, CJ, would be how long would you keep her in NXT? So you answered my question without me asking, and I love it.
3 to 5 months. 3 to 5 months.
There's nothing wrong with that.
She doesn't need to be on NXT on Tuesday nights. She doesn't need to be on TV, period, until she goes to the main roster. That's
train it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with all three.
I'm not putting myself over, but I kind of am. Like Ray was saying, I work a lot more backstage now. So if this was me, that's what I would do with her, because she's that talented and she's that much of a superstar. And is there going to be some WWE fans that probably have no clue who she is? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if she's not seen on TV until she gets a couple more months in like into the system of WWE and acclimated to that system. She's going to be phenomenal long term, but you don't need to push her down people's throats. Let her get her reps in. And I want to see the matches with her and Bianca, her and Charlotte, her and Becky.
Rhea.
But you don't have to, like, to me, that's something that you definitely do want to take your time with and not rush.
You
Perfect
just
point.
said something, Blaze, that is the problem, though. So, like, honestly, if you put her and Rhea together,
Not right away, I'm saying.
but no, I'm just
eventually.
saying, even in 3 to 6 months, physically on a poster, on a promo,
Would
that
look
looks
amazing.
like a dream matchup. You have a big fucking fundamental problem in that matchup, though, is that Rhea is the same way. She works as good as who she's working. She's not a bad worker by any means, but she's not a ring general yet, as we would say it, or she's working up towards that. So you shotgun her into a feud with some people like that. That's where Jade gets exposed. Now, if you put her right in with a Charlotte or a Bayley, somebody who is a natural, is kind of that ring general, can lead her around, and Natalya, then she's going to look good. But anytime she works those other people that aren't as experienced and that aren't, the leaders and the people to call the matches, that's where she would get exposed. And that's why, like CJ said, send her down, season her, make sure she's ready when she debuts, because she has every fucking box you check to be
And like you said, those matches, they would definitely be good, but why settle for it just being good when it could be great in 6 to 8 months from now?
I agree. Well, there's no rush. There's no timetable that says she has to come out right away. So I agree with all you guys. Let her sit there, marinate, learn again, bring her back next year sometime, and let her.
And she's not doing it for the money. She's already said that.
Yeah,
she's doing it because she loves the business.
Yep. All right. So we'll see how that unfolds. I mean, the big question to me is, what the hell are they going to call her? I think
Jade Cargill.
Jade
Cargill.
If they want to take the rights to her name.
Jane, just change one letter.
I've heard Jade Storm because she wants to play the Storm character and stuff like that in the future, but we'll see. Here's just some tidbits on some other news here before we get to the AEW Rewind. Impact had their 1,000th thing last Thursday and tonight. I just think it's amazing that Saban, Impact 1 and Impact 1,000. That says a lot for the longevity of someone like Chris Saban. And I think it need to be mentioned. I love this cameraman right here. Had the good idea.
I love those fucking tits. I'm going to call it what it fucking is.
Cameraman knew what he was doing that last week. I didn't get that last week, but I got it. I had to get it in the show today. What do you think of this, CJ? Lee Moriarty joining STP.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it.
Every minute of it.
Yeah.
Just like I would love Shelton Benjamin in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, I heard that one on Fightful earlier today too. Someone brought it up, and even Sean Ross.
More
like,
so
wow.
than the Mogul Embassy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to Fightful or
it was
anything.
good. It was good. Yeah.
But just you saying that, I'm all in on it.
Yeah, Shelton with the BCC.
I wish I could take credit for it, but whoever had sent
it was in their chat or something.
Whatever, yeah, someone sent a super chat in. I'm all fucking for that.
This is another quote that was so funny last week, and this guy's gold. I hope they use him more and more and more.
He's the greatest.
I googled scissoring, and you guys are doing it wrong. I thought so much that it was so classic. Like everyone thought that since the beginning, but he had the nerve to say it right on the mic, and he's gold, man. Please use John Silver more.
He's good too.
Great guy too.
I was gonna say where like I know I've said it before on this podcast. Take 5 minutes, go to YouTube, pull up John Silver versus Brian Cage. I think it's from PWG. This dude is so supremely talented, and I know he's gotten himself over organically, and they've given him more and more stuff, but we've literally not seen the fucking tip of the iceberg of what John Silver can really do.
Yeah.
You go watch that Brian Cage John Silver match, and it is unfucking real how good he really is in the ring.
Do you know where John Silver deserves to be? The meat division.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, you're not wrong.
All those big dudes and John Silver in the meat division too. How about this one? Chris Statlander is the first woman to ever main event back-to-back nights on wrestling television. I had to think about that one for a little bit. 2 TV shows in a row, women main event in a row. That says a lot in my opinion.
Well, that's because you got people like us and all the other wrestling fans bitching how terribly booked the AEW women's division has been.
Yeah.
So that's them throwing a Band-Aid on it, which I'm super glad that those 2 main events happened, but just do better all around.
Yeah.
Don't have to feel like you're doing that to make up for your lack of
Timing seems like they're trying to make up for it. You're right, Siege. That's a good point.
And for
right?
her being the only star to do it, they're going to take it away from her this week because you're going to have Christian main event Rampage in a tag team match with Sting and Darby, and then he's going to main event Collision in a 3-way for the TNT title. So
there you go. I like that 3-way. There's all these little subtle teases about Edge, but not really saying Edge. All right, let's get to the rest of AEW here on our fifth topic, and AEW Grand Slam. We're going to go over a couple bits, and then we'll talk about the show as a whole. Eddie Kingston kicking off the show in New York, bringing home that championship. Doc, start us off on the feel-good moment of the night, in my opinion.
Match of the night, in my opinion.
Okay.
I thought Kingston and Claudio, it had storytelling, it had brutality, it had everything you want in a wrestling match. It was just awesome, especially with that New York crowd backing Eddie so much. And at the end, it was a handshake. It was one of those, yeah, fuck you won today handshake. But I liked how they did it. So I can't complain about that beginning of that event, about Wednesday's event whatsoever.
Fly in here.
Ray, great way to kick off Grand Slam. What'd you think of Eddie bringing home the gold?
I'm going to slap this fucking fly like Eddie chopped Claudio.
I was just about to say, he's so excited he's trying to chop everything. But
No, I agree with Doc. I don't think it was match of the night, but I love the intensity of it. I love the storytelling. They knocked the snot out of each other. I love that Eddie's getting his due. Like, I know that he's not the most technical wrestler. I know that he's not the most polished wrestler. I know he has a beer gut, but he has what you can't teach. You know what I mean? He has that connection. I'm glad he's finally getting a shot to do something. And honestly, I think he's the perfect guy for an ROH title, because if you want to have a brawl, he can brawl. If you want to wrestle, he can wrestle. He's a character. He's somebody that, like, even if I'm fast forwarding through Rampage, if Eddie comes out with a microphone, I'm stopping to watch. So while I don't go out of my way to watch Ring of Honor right now, but this could get me a little bit interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to at least look at the results now to see if anything cool happened.
Yeah.
You know, but like Ring of Honor is a show that I skip just because I don't have enough hours in the week to watch all the wrestling that I want to watch.
Riley Wolf out there said he almost reffed a Kingston match. Cool. Hope you're doing well up there, Riley, training in HOG and everything. CJ, Eddie the champ.
I actually am going to agree with Doc on this and say this was my match of the night. It was very hard hitting. It was very storyline driven. And I don't really have any complaints whatsoever about this match.
Yeah, I thought this show, and I said it last week, I was hoping this show gave a Clash of the Champions old school feel. And to me, it kind of did, because there was a lot of title fights, champion versus champion stuff and everything. You got a lot of throwbacks from old stuff. This was great. You know, Sammy and Jericho's match was next. And just so many little nuances throughout the show that I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just really enjoyed the show from top to bottom. We'll cover the whole card here in a minute, but let's talk about this one here.
Let's talk about this fucking shit show.
Yeah, CJ, start us off. I mean, Phoenix ends up winning, but obviously was not the call.
Irritated. Fucking irritated.
So the shoulders were down. The referee doesn't count. And CJ, as a ref, what do you think about that situation?
I don't know Rick Knox personally. I'm sure he's a hell of a guy, and I'm not trying to dog anybody personally per se. Count the motherfucking 3.
Yeah, that was my question to CJ before the show. I said, as a referee, say you know the outcome, you know, and the other person they're pinned. Do you count the 3?
I have personally had happen to me similar situations. Dylan Bostic comes to mind, where he was knocked out cold, and I knew that wasn't supposed to be the finish. So we were able to, call an audible very quickly and still get the same outcome. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never fucked anything up, because that's bullshit. But being in it as long as I have now, and I'm sure Rick Knox is a very similar situation. And look, again, what I say probably doesn't matter to most. I speak on 26 plus years experience in the business. He's there. I'm sitting in my fucking little shithole house talking about wrestling. But let's be honest. Like, he knows better. Count the fucking 3. And if it means, okay, Moxley had a little bit slight concussion or what have you, and Phoenix wasn't supposed to go over, count the 3, and you have a rematch next fucking week and just give the title right back to Moxley.
There you go. Now, Doc, answer me this. Is AEW too dangerous, or is this just part of the job? I mean, he took 2 shots to the head after concussion to end that match. Do you think it's too dangerous, or is this just part of the job?
Part of the job. If you go back a couple years, when Miz took on Cena in WrestleMania, of course, Rock came in, rock bottom Cena, and ruined that opportunity, giving Miz that WrestleMania moment, that retainment of the heavyweight title. However, during the match, they spilled out onto the floor. Miz went back and gave himself a concussion, and they still went on with the match. And, Cena actually acknowledged that on Monday Night Raw and said, The Miz, you won by luck because of The Rock, but I'll tell you what, for someone who got a concussion and stuck with it, I can respect that. Still gave him his flowers for that. Simple fact is, Moxley did land right on his head on that one finisher. However, they're saying that the concussion happened, like you said beforehand.
Yeah.
Moxley's a tough son of a bitch. That's all there is to it. I mean, and they went through it. I don't think AEW's dangerous. No.
Ray, your thoughts on the move, the match, the new champ?
I'm going to go a different route here than the other guys. And this is, I agree with CJ wholeheartedly. Rick Knox should have counted the 3. WWE refs have been fired for similar things, for, not counteracting live.
Yeah.
However, I think that this was a failure on AEW's part. Anybody watching that match at home knew right after that opening spot when they went off the ramp that Moxley was concussed. You could see it. He was staring off into space. His movements were slow. Everything was slow. They should have stopped the match.
Yeah, concussion's nothing to mess around with.
I don't disagree that Moxley's a tough son of a bitch. I know Taker's worked with a concussion before, and it's well documented. Like Doc said, the Miz situation.
I have.
But, yeah. I got a concussion from Troy Lords and Wes Newton from a barbecue tray. I mean, it happens in matches. Don't get me wrong. And I'm an idiot. I finished the match because I didn't know any better. But they have a doctor at ringside. Like I said, it was painfully obvious to us watching at home that he was concussed. So they even had a commercial break during that match. At the commercial break, they should have signaled to Knox. They should have checked Moxley a little bit, or they should have just literally the doctor should have waved off the match and let Moxley argue and shit. Like, Rick Knox has an earpiece.
Yeah.
Whoever was producing that match should have been through the earpiece telling Moxley to throw a fit about it, push the doctor, whatever. You know what I mean? Do whatever you need to do, but letting him continue to take bumps and knowing what Ray Phoenix's finisher is, that like kind of tombstone-ish pile driver, like corkscrew pile driver. In my opinion, like I don't give a shit about the I don't give a shit about the Moxley toughness.
Agreed.
I want to see the dude be able to wrestle for another 10 years.
Yep.
Agreed.
And yeah. Okay.
So I think that was a failure on AEW's part. And I'm not saying, I mean, it's a live and learn experience, but that was my main takeaway from last night. The match honestly sucked anyways. Because Moxley was so slow, I mean, it was not near the level that these two guys
could have been,
out.
yeah.
Right.
I would have rather seen the match stopped. And honestly, like, you evaluate him and, he's fine. Then you have, like CJ said, if you had to flip the title. Yep. You have a rematch next week, and Moxley can cut a promo saying nothing can stop me. These doctors aren't going to tell me I can't, play it into a storyline that'll make him seem even more like a badass. Mm-hmm. But stop the match for safety to make sure he isn't fucked up. And literally, he could have fucked Phoenix up. Let's be honest. If you have a concussion, your fucking bell's rung.
Yeah,
and then
both
you're doing
of you are at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're doing his Death Rider DDT where he posts somebody and spikes them. Like, you're a little bit off on that on timing, and you put fucking Phoenix on the crown of his head and break his neck.
Yeah.
Again, that didn't happen, but why risk it? It's not worth it.
Yeah, you can come back. I like the comeback next week, like CJ and Bigo said. You could always flip the title back if you need to. But the good news is he is okay. It's not a severe concussion.
Or
don't
flip the title back and let him get his fucking vacation he's been waiting.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's
the
first thing I thought is maybe he'll finally get his fucking vacation. But Phoenix is a great wrestler. He'll be a great champion, I think. No problem there. So we got the main event. You saw it. We had the interviews with MJF doing the old promo from Steiner. You got the throwback to the old Bret Hart commercial.
That was classic.
With MJF. And he's adopted. I mean, it's great. It's good stuff. Everything all through. You got Samoa Joe doing the walkout, but without pushing anybody. But it's obviously still a throwback to when MJF got pushed.
I think he should have pushed that little kid.
They should have had like an up and coming wrestler.
No, it should have been that same kid that was in MJF's entrance, but like he throws him against the wall.
He comes out for
it. Bret Hart kid. Yeah.
Fuck them kids.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other story of the main event too. Adam Cole coming down, got hurt. Got injured off of that ramp, which I did love the ramp. I love the setup of how Grand Slam looked. It looked really good. It wasn't the same exact set. But this looks like just a tweaked knee or ankle. He was on
looked like an ankle sprain.
He got it checked out. He was on crutches. He ain't.
Here's my complaint about that. He had plenty of time that he didn't need to rush down, jump off the fucking ramp like that to hit his fucking cue. But
yeah, it's
whatever. He'll be completely fine.
So as a whole, I mean, I thought this was a great show, and they got more matches we'll talk about for tomorrow night, and then one little slide here at the end. But
I really enjoyed Saraya and Tony Storm, honestly, too.
I was going to say, do you guys think Saraya's finally getting the ring rust out and looking a little better?
Yeah,
I think she has looked a little better. I don't think she's at the level she was when she retired, but that's a rep thing, which I don't think she's. Again, AEW doesn't work enough, and Saraya's not taking independent bookings outside of AEW, where she's going to get to that level where she was at in WWE, working 4 nights a week. But they played the storyline great. Ruby played great. I love the spot at the end with the kiss and everything that like distracted her. Like it
Tony should have went over.
It was a fun match, and I love Tony Storm's new gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Me too. We'll talk a little bit more about MJF and Samoa Joe. I mean, MJF took a hell of a beating throughout that match. Like, to have him come back, that was a great story, in my opinion, for him to deal with all that shit. And I knew he was going to end up coming out, but I didn't know how. And I really enjoyed it. Are we mad at the fact that we have a face world champion doing dirty shit? I'm not.
No.
I think it's something
2023.
different. Yeah, thank you.
And
I thought it was hilarious.
The he's our scumbag thing is fucking great.
And you know what my favorite part about last night's show was?
What's that?
I don't think any of you are going to guess what I'm about to say. There was only 5 matches, and they didn't try and jam 20,000 things into 2 hours.
Nope, they just let it burn. And
there was time for shit to breathe and people to actually get connected to what was going on your screen.
Yeah, true. Very good point.
I would have flipped the title. That's my only complaint.
To Joe?
To Joe, I would have flipped from Saraya to Tony.
But I mean, to have 4
I wouldn't have had a problem
matches.
with that either, honestly. But
yeah,
I really think Joe right now is just so over and so convincing. And I would love to see MJF as the babyface chasing it. And if you're going to play into the like Cole thing where Roddy cost him, the fact that Adam Cole shouldn't have even come out.
Agreed.
Joe should have won the title, and then it was Roddy that took Cole away from being at ringside and blah blah blah. And it plays into the storyline, but Joe is on another level. I'm not saying MJF's not. MJF is fucking phenomenal right now. I mean, great. But Joe is taking this is literally 2008 Samoa Joe, where like this motherfucker's back.
Yep.
Like, I mean, his work rate, his promo, his character, his facial expressions, every fucking bit about it is fucking on point.
Agreed. So
I just think it's a little missed opportunity here.
So this year they did do 2 nights, so they taped enough for tomorrow night, and that's our final topic here. And we got one little tidbit to end it. These matches for tomorrow night, you have both 6-man titles on the line, ROH and AEW.
The 6-man Palooza.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on one picture for 6 matches. Santana has a match also, Mike Santana. These matches are over. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it unless
they taped the first hour of Rampage before Dynamite,
and then
the second hour after, which is fucking
very weird.
Yeah, but whatever.
And it is a 2-hour Rampage tomorrow night, so the continuation of the Grand Slam. But what I want to talk about a little bit more is our last topic. Both at the beginning of the show, we talked about SmackDown going to USA and now NXT and WWE's Raw, wondering where they're going to end up, as well as they're going to have
Amazon or Disney or ESPN or something like that.
NBC will have 4 nationally televised events next year for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a Clash of Champions. Are we going to get Saturday Night Main Event, or what's it going to be? Something like that, maybe. I hope. I used to love those. And then AEW on Max, they're supposedly going to. It's not a done deal, so I'm not saying it's a done deal, but supposedly going to 12 pay-per-views as well. So, Doc, what's your thoughts on the TV rights in wrestling right now? I guess to say as a whole.
Max with AEW is going to be kind of cool because we don't have to shell out $60 a pop. I think that's pretty cool. I love the fact that if it's Saturday night's main event, bring it back. They're going to start those at 8 o'clock. That's not going to be 11:30 like they were when we were kids. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I just want to see where Raw is going to end up. I really hope Raw stays on USA. It's just been
Not going to, buddy.
I know it's not going to. But like I said, it's an exciting time for pro wrestling. It always has. It has been just for the last 2 years, regardless of the ups and downs both companies have seen and have dealt with. It's still a great time for pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, Ray.
I'm all for Max. We've talked about this a bunch of times. I really don't want to see AEW go to a 12 pay-per-view model. I think it dilutes everything. Okay. Just because you're trying to fit storylines in too quick. It's one of the things I honestly loved about AEW whenever the company started is that they were building 3-month storylines at least for payoff matches, and like there was room to breathe in between stuff for feuds to really do. And I think it just truncates your booking a little bit where you run through opponents too quick, you run through stories too quick, or you end up. It's honestly what I blame the most for like the 50-50 booking that we bitch about in WWE, where it's, trading victories back and forth, or you're wrestling the same 6 people over and over again and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I really don't want to see. That was another nice alternative to AEW. And then they threw in like, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. But that, again, now you have company versus company. They weren't massive storyline things, so that's cool. But now we're going to go to the same old, again, just doing what WWE's doing. As far as the TV rights with WWE, I like Doc. I would love to see Raw stay on USA too, and them just all be on USA. But I don't think USA can afford that. So who the hell knows? But again, now they have TKO. Now they have UFC as a partner, which has a great relationship with Disney and ESPN and everything else. So
Amazon Prime.
They're going to make a shit ton of money from somewhere. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have Max. If this is a deal, I'm the new subscriber right away. I will definitely get Max for that.
Great.
Yeah, I know. Everyone keeps telling me that's a great show. But CJ, we got your take earlier about the WWE part. What do you think about the possibility of streaming AEW Max?
I mean, I'm all for, to be honest, I think you're starting to see a lot more and more of wrestling companies in general getting some pretty good numbers and revenue on streaming platforms. I wouldn't be surprised if sooner than later wrestling is off of cable television altogether, because there's a good place for people to be able to make money on streaming platforms, just some of the viewership and whatnot. So I'm all for Max. I'm not all for like a 12 pay-per-view model, but I mean, like Ray said earlier, Forbidden Door could be one of the 12. I'm cool with that. What's this Wrestle Dream could be something different. But yeah, I mean, I'm all for the streaming stuff.
Cool. All right.
One other thing I want to throw in, I don't know if you guys talked about this or not. Doc, I think you posted this on social media, but if you haven't checked it out, if you have Netflix, go watch the Wrestlers series. It's like a behind-the-scenes thing with OVW.
He hates it.
You hate it? I like it.
I haven't watched it, but I asked Doc earlier.
I'll talk about why I don't like it after we go off of the air.
All right, let's get everybody.
I enjoyed it. I love seeing Al Snow. Yeah,
you got
it was
personal reason. Like,
I have one more episode to go on it, and I enjoyed it. Even the wife liked it, which normally she doesn't like.
I love it.
I still haven't watched Heels at all.
Heels is far better than this.
I haven't got to see Heels yet.
Well, they're two totally different things. You're talking about a scripted show versus a
just
fake reality show. And that, I mean, let's be honest too. It's what it is. It's a fake reality show.
Yeah,
that is not 100% reality. They're playing into, they're hamming shit up and everything like that. But still, it's great to see a small fed like that get spotlighted. It's great to see Al Snow. And I don't think a lot of people, especially the masses, like have any idea about what it takes to run an indie fed, and the struggle of booking and the struggle of availability of stars and the struggle of putting a shit ton of money into a federation.
I'll fucking say it. I'll say it now. I don't like the fact that they are kind of trying to portray it as being what it was back when it was developmental.
I agree.
Okay.
However, I mean, they do have the advent of saying that they are a live television show. They are.
Oh, for sure. 1,000%.
They have the history of who they've, has run through there. Now, granted, I do think they glossed over the fact that it used to be a developmental territory. They mentioned it, but they've glossed over that enough, making it seem like OVW is still a feeder system to the, to the other feds.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It is a tier 3 indie, in my opinion.
And I mean, maybe I'm being biased. To me, it's no different than an IWC or a 2PW or a Revenge or a RWA.
It's not a national company. It's not a national company. And I would say your tier 2 companies, I classify that as like Impact Wrestling, where they are national, but they're not national. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Even Ring of Honor at this point, like, they get more TV exposure through AEW, but they don't have a national television contract. They're not in the conversation. And then I think you have the tier 3s, which are like your super indies, which are your HOGs, your PWGs, your IWCs, OVW, where they have TV exposure. They have, obviously exposure where you can go to fight.com. You can go to, indie wrestling and watch the shows and things like that. And they're bringing national talent through. They're putting out a TV show. They're putting out a product. But I call that like a tier 3 fed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Those are still an indie fed. Those guys aren't the only people making a living off of that federation. It might change now with some Netflix money infused. But our Al Snow, you know what I mean? Like your chief guys there, none of the wrestlers are making a living wrestling for OVW.
And before I got like a little bit of the backstory about that Money Mark guy, which I still think he's a fucking douche canoe. I would love to slap the shit out of him.
Oh, great stuff. Wally knows where we go from here. All right, time for final thought. So at the end of the day, we started the showing Doc get clotheslined by J-Rock, which we know he's still feeling the effects of it. But let's start with the Doc, the DOC down there. What is your final thought for tonight at the end of the day, Doc?
At the end of the day, for all you fans of the wrestler, give me Hollywood Haley J any day. I'm done.
Ray, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, give me Layla Gray and them fucking yams, dog. Damn. And CJ, just so we're on the same page here, if we lined up everyone that we wanted to slap the shit out of, I don't think you or I have the stamina, time, or endurance to make it to the end of that line.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that could say the same about me, and that's fine.
Everybody loves me.
Hands across America. CJ, at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, my comments on certain things isn't meant in a malicious manner, believe it or not. I want to see everybody succeed, and I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of personal friends that have worked for all these companies. I'm more of a realist these days, and I don't know. But there's a lot of good as Ray would want to call it, and I agree, tier 3 wrestling. Go out and support that, because those are the future stars of this business. And we got IWC Super Indy 22 coming up October the 7th. It's going to be a good night, and I'm sure we could get a little more in depth in future weeks. And yeah, enjoy wrestling. And again, I mean, no malicious towards anything. Like, I watch wrestling a lot differently now than I used to, being the capacity that I'm involved in the business. So like what you like, hate what you hate, and just yeah. Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like we talked about it earlier, we hate to see anybody lose their job, so we wish the best to anybody who's got released today. Hope they land on their feet. And my final thought, as I will be live with LTD in a little bit, as you guys know, we got all the 20 releases, but they fucking bring back Nia fucking Jax. Fuck that bitch. We're out of here.
That's how you're gonna end the show? Are
Fuck
you
that bitch.
kidding me?
I really hope she finds you one day.
I'll kiss her.
I'm gonna use every back channel I have to WWE to get a Blaze versus Nia Jax face off. I want to see her throw one of them big old fucking legs, one of them
Stick
big
her
legs
big
right
ass in
outside
my
your head.
face, on my chest. Give me a Cleveland steamer. Give me
What?
Nia Jax first.
Really? Oh, come on,
Shit
man.
me, Nia Jax. Shit on me. What's your
What's
hole?
wrong?
Give me that hole. Give me your hole.
I mean, he
the
brought
fuck is
them all up
happening right now?
Thank you, Angelita.
I mean, Doc, she was the first one to bring her hole into it. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
He did. He started the whole thing, so I'm running with it. I'm running with her hole. See you next week, guys. Jesse, Angelita, Wally, Lady Devil, Kelly, each every one of you guys that stopped by. We appreciate you.
Blaze is naming off all the people he's offended to.
And fuck Nia Jax and fuck Sushi.
You
I
leave
don't know why
Fuji out of this. Don't lump him
Now
in.
we have an opinion I can get on.
Fuck him. Fuck him wearing shit.
Oh my god. And fuck JJ Rumham too. I had to see his face on the end all the time. Yeah, I'm making all kinds of enemies.
Oh, you already had an enemy in JJ. You just didn't know it.
Oh, he let me know it alright. Oh boy.
He's gonna kick you in the balls.
I kick you in the ketchup bottle.
Hey, it's